Okay, ready to roll, everybody in the room. Wouldn't it be hilarious if I just had like a team of 15 behind here in my bedroom? I absolutely do not. And see, I'm looking at myself. Let's shift to you. Hi. I am excited about today's video because I get a lot of questions about this in my DMs, kind of privately, and it is about childcare. And I know that there are a lot of moms out there who are either working moms or who desire to have time to themselves, time with them and their partner, a bit more time away from the kids. And it is a healthy desire, it is a healthy ask, and it is definitely an important decision, so you cannot take it lightly. They're watching your children after all, they're caring for your children. And so in this video, I want to talk about this paradox that I have experienced of hiring help, how I so deeply wanted help and also wanted to spend every waking moment with my child, but also wanted time alone, but also it's the craziest thing. I know if you're a mom watching this, you understand what I'm saying. Like, you absolutely want an 8-hour spa day, but the thought of doing an 8-hour spa day or even a 2-hour spa day gives you anxiety because you just can't imagine being away from your child for 2 hours and or trusting someone else to watch them. So I get it. And I just want to have a really candid conversation about this. I want to share with you how I've kind of navigated setting a foundation, a really good, healthy, strong foundation with our nanny, and how it continues to evolve. So this is going to be a shorter video. I'm going to move on it. I know moms, we don't have a lot of time to watch YouTube. I get it. So let's keep this brief. But the paradox of hiring help. I wasn't sure if I wanted to bring on anyone to support us with Mav. I just had this feeling of, I don't know if I'm going to be able to trust someone. I really don't feel like being a hawk and watching them because I know I'm going to. I don't think anyone can care for my child better than I can. I don't want to go through the process of trying to find someone. But what I did, and if y'all have been following me for a while, you know, I do bring in the tactical, but then I also bring in, you know, some more of the energetic and spiritual at times. But I set an intention when I was pregnant. I said, God, Spirit, Universe, hi, hello, Maverick's in my belly, and there is going to come a time pretty early on that I actually need to dip back into work. I had to finish our book that we're working on, Krista and I. For almost 30. So I had some deadlines and had to jump back into writing at about 7-8 weeks. It was early. I'd say too early, to be honest, but I had to do what I had to do. So I set that intention when I was pregnant, and I just said, you know, God, please bring me, you know, the person who is going to care for Maverick as close to as much as I care for Maverick, and or like just loves him, fits in well with our family, is kind and considerate and responsible, and has energy for him. I basically had like a list, but more so describing the person she was rather than like too specific on like, she's available this day or she accepts this rate of pay. You know, I just wanted that feeling, so that when she came in, I knew. So I was in the elevator one day in our building, and a woman was in the elevator, and she said, oh, congratulations. You know, I was pregnant, very pregnant at the time. And she's like, are you looking for support at any point? And I was like, actually, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And she's like, well, I know someone, you know, who I think would be amazing. She gave me that person's number, and she's like, just text her. Just text her and tell her that you ran into me, whatever. Turns out that was our nanny's mom. I found out shortly after that was her mom. And so we met our nanny via FaceTime for like an interview, little meet and greet chat. And I got a good feeling, right? And I think it's really important, you know, kind of jumping into the tips, that it's important that you, if it's on the phone, that you have a FaceTime call. I wanted to just feel her energy. And I think you can do it through just audio, but I don't know, there's just something about like seeing someone face to face that I think is pretty powerful, and they're able to see kind of the nuance of my reactions. And yeah, I just like that. So I always ask for a FaceTime call with these types of things. You know, I asked her about just her as a person. You know, where is she in her life? What is she doing? What is she passionate about? Where is she from? You know, where is her family located? Just anything, like really just getting to know her as if I was getting to know someone as like a new friend. And then I went into the more like tactical or you know, logistical things, which are like, you know, what does your availability look like? Are you with any other family right now? What is your experience with children? You know, what ages have you worked with? How long have you worked with families? What exactly did you do with those families? If so, I'm curious what would be quote unquote included in your support for us. Would you be willing to do the baby's laundry? Would you be willing to cook him food? Would you be just touching on every, to the best of my ability in those early, even pre-MAV days, touching on everything that I anticipate she would be supportive with. And so once I had that information, you know, I believe I talked to 2 other potential candidates, and I decided to go with our nanny now, who was the first person I talked to. And, you know, I think it's important to trust your gut. It's important to trust that feeling, and also know that this is the beginning of a relationship, and it is over time that this relationship with your support, with the nanny, with babysitter, it will get better and better over time if you treat it as an important relationship in your life. I actually talked to my nanny the other day. I'm just not mentioning her name just because, but I talked to her the other day, and we were talking about how, you know, some of her friends who also nanny talk about how their families don't really acknowledge them. They don't really acknowledge them, say like if they're out and they see them, and they really only acknowledge the children. And that was just like a small but very poignant example of just being conscious to bring them into the fold of your life, and to acknowledge them and to respect them, because the hope there is that they also acknowledge you, respect you, you know, take care of your child in the way that you would. So it's such an important relationship. I think we all know how to build a good relationship. There's communication, there's respect, there's love, there's compassion, there's thoughtfulness. And in this case, because it is someone that you are hiring, you are paying them, it is important, I think, to have boundaries and to have rules. And by rules, I don't mean like do this, not that. It's more so, let's have a contract. Let's have a piece of paper with everything laid out. Our expectations, weekly expectations, overall expectations, hours, pay. Are we going to give you vacation days? Which holidays do you have off? You know, how many sick days do you have? These are all things that, you know, you can kind of design. There is absolutely a standard, especially if your nanny is full-time. Ours is not full-time. She's 30 hours a week with us. So we came to an agreement within our contract of how many sick days, how many vacation days, kind of policy on, hey, if you can't make it, you know, I would appreciate this amount of time before, or if you need to take off, I would love a 2-week notice. If you have like a longer vacation, I would love a month's notice, things like that, that you can really kind of design for your preferences. But I think it's important for both of you to have it on paper and to sign it and to file it away so you can pull it out. What I think is also really, really helpful for you as the employer, in this case, just on the topic of contracts, when you start to work together, it's really helpful to have a log. A log of anything that just stands out as things you would like to discuss with her. Say she arrives late, he or she arrives late consistently. Take note of that. Take note of the dates, take note of the times. I know it can be a little tedious, but you just want to have a running log so that, one, you remember. You're a new mom. Like, you're not going to remember the dates, when it happened, if it happened, was it a dream? You don't know. So keep a running log, and hopefully you'll never have to refer back to it. Hopefully There can be feedback in the moment that sticks and it'll never happen again. But if things start to happen consistently, you just want to have a running log so that you can have a conversation with some backup. Get me? Okay. What I would also say in the beginning is having a conversation with your support person to go over your very candid, real, honest preferences when it comes to taking care of your child. For example, I don't want a phone anywhere near my child. I understand people are gonna have phones. I understand it's gonna happen, but I need it to be super clear that like, if he's napping in her arms, that a phone is not near his head. I need to be very clear that he will not hold her phone, play with her phone, be on her phone, or anyone else's phone. And I think you can be just so unapologetic in this part of the conversation, even say that, just say, listen, I'm gonna share some things that I really have a strong preference for. I understand things happen. I understand that you can't control everything, but I just wanna express this because if I don't want that part of me to then micromanage or hover over you or wonder or worry. So just know that I'm telling you this because I'm excited for you to like take this, be responsible with it, and care for my child and have me really not feel like I need to, intervene or be hovering over you all the time. And so you can just really, I would write it down, to be honest, and you can even give it to them after your discussion just so they have it. Maybe it is, and this is one of my preferences, I don't want you wearing fragrance when you come and watch my child, especially when he's a baby. But kids are super sensitive. They can develop allergies with these fragrances that have a lot of chemicals. So that's one of my things. You will discover things over time. You will discover things that like totally bother you over time. And the best policy is to say it in the moment, say it with love, take a breath, try not to be reactive, but just say, hey, listen, I know we haven't discussed this, but it's really important to me that fill in the blank. It's really important for me is important. Rather than saying like, I have a boundary that says this. It's like, it's really important to me that you do this or you don't do this, or that Maverick experiences this. And I would love if you could do that more often or, make an effort to do that. Let me know how this feels. And I'm happy to like support you in doing this. Again, this is a constant conversation. And I think you have to be, when you hire someone to support you, you have to be committed to that. It's not just one and done in the beginning. This is a constant conversation. This is a relationship that you need to nurture. This is a relationship that you need to take care of and really tend to over time. And you will see how it benefits your child too. Like even at this young age, Mav, like he adores our nanny. And when our nanny and me are like interacting and we're being playful with each other or with him, it just creates this incredible environment. Just the energy is so good. And that's what you want. You want because children feel everything. Oh my God, they feel everything. And especially as they become more aware, they're going to notice dynamics and tension in relationships. So not only between you and your partner, but like you and your support team. So I just can't stress enough how important it is. The last thing I'll say for now, because I feel like I'm gonna do more videos on this, because I've gotten requests for more videos on like tough conversations with your nanny, etc. So I will get there. The one other thing that I just wanted to remind you of as you're building this relationship with your support system is that you're gonna learn from each other. You're gonna learn from each other. Like you know what's best for your child, full stop, period, the end. You know what's best. And leave room to continue learning. And your support system, I've learned from our nanny. Like I've learned from her in watching her and listening to her and asking her. Is she an expert? No. Does she have her own kids? No. But she has worked with kids for a very long time. And she's also with my child 30 hours a week. And so while I'm with him more and I am his mom, she might be privy to things, behaviors, things that happen that I am not. And I want to learn from her. Maybe she notices something that I don't notice. Maybe she sees a little mark on his foot that we have to keep an eye on. Listen and learn so that hopefully it's reciprocal. They listen and learn from you as well, because none of us truly know it all. Yes, you know best, but we don't know it all. So if we can just create an environment of constantly learning about each other and learning about the child and learning what works best, like keep it really juicy and malleable, I think that's best, rather than this is how I do it, follow this, don't ask questions, period. Yes, you can have boundaries, rules, etc., but let's keep the environment one that is like, what's Mav like today? It's my son. What's he doing today? He's a new boy today, I know. Oh, you know what? He was crawling and I noticed that he was now on both of his knees, and it was so cool. And I'm like, oh yeah, I noticed that too. And I'm really trying to encourage him. Like sometimes I'll help him use his knees and she'll be like, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, let me help him with that too when I'm playing with him. An environment of learning centered around the child, but adults working together. That's what we want. Okay, this is like probably part one of many because this is a hot topic. I want to support you. I am not an expert at this, but I am learning so much as we go. So I want to help you along. And last thing I'll say is that not everyone is going to feel comfortable hiring support, want to hire support, or need to. And when I started New Mom on the Block, it was really important that this content, this community, the energy around it supported every mom's preference for motherhood, preferences within their motherhood, their flavor of motherhood. I want to celebrate your flavor of motherhood because there's just too much judgment, there's too much comparison, there's too much black and white, and this works and that doesn't, this is right, this is wrong. Y'all, our kids are so different, every single one of them. We are all so different. We're in different circumstances. So let's just celebrate what we feel is best for our child, best for our situation as a whole. And if it looks different than someone else, like that is okay. Of course I have my preferences. You might hear them here, but I want you to really tune into your own intuition related to your child, connect with your child, and make the best decision for you. That's all I want. So that's it for today. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. I have videos new every single week, and this brand is growing and evolving, and parts of it I don't even know what it'll become, but that's kind of the exciting part, and I think you guys will influence it. All right, I will see you in the next video. Make sure to share this with a mom friend. Maybe it'll start a discussion that will be super helpful for you.